What's up, everybody? My name is Mr. Dupa. That right there is Adam Obesis Rodriguez.
I'm Mr. Dupa.
And Drunk Dave Romero.
No, look at me. I am Mr. Dupa.
Tonight's brew is from the world-famous Lagunitas Brewing Company. It's the Pale Ale, New Dogtown.
It's got a dog on it.
It does.
All of them have dogs on it, Adam.
It looks really, really delicious. We're going to have a good time tonight. This is the One Baron Podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
Oh, wait. I gotta open it.
You
first.
gotta open it before we clink. Come on. It's episode 59. Come on.
All right, ready?
Clink.
Bottoms up.
I feel like a lot of Lagunitas beers have the same sort of
Hoppy taste.
palate. Yeah, the same hoppy palate. They're all
Not that good, though.
no, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I think that's gonna be my new standard pale ale.
Here.
Yeah.
Input this.
Well, we're all very familiar with Lagunitas brews. I feel like we've had our fair share.
Yes.
We usually steer towards more of the IPAs.
Yes.
They have a pretty good variety. I think most of their stuff is IPAs or pale ales in general. I don't know if they deviate too much from that usually.
Yeah, I can't remember stout. They have dark ales like the nighttime.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
But yeah, they do it and they do it well.
That they do.
So, what do you guys think? Think hard now. It's a big decision.
Nah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
Now, out of 6 bottle caps, how much do you enjoy it?
It's very hoppy,
It is very hoppy.
you know?
You have to like that hop taste.
It might be a little too hoppy for moi.
I don't know where he's going. He's going into the forest.
You damn right, boy. I'm going to go 4 out of 6 on this one.
Okay. Dave.
5. I think it's gonna be my new pale ale staple. I have like my each beer has its like own base that I like to go with my go-to. So this is gonna be my go-to pale ale.
It's very good. I'm going to split the difference between the two of you and say a 4.5. It is good, though. I'm a fan of Lagunitas. I think that you need to be a fan of pale ales and Indian pale ales to get into them because it's obviously a very hoppy taste that they all have. But yeah, I say go for it if you like
That
that.
damn dog bark any other time. Any other time.
It's because we're drinking the bottle with his face
Yes.
on it. Yeah.
He
But
wants to
anyway,
be part of the podcast.
he is part of the podcast now.
There he is.
Solid beer all around, though.
Solid beer.
Here.
Cheers, Lagunitas.
Excuse me. That was all the hops. That's what that was. All the hops.
That was a demon coming out of your body.
Yes, a devil, if you will.
Right from the core. All right. This
No,
is...
He said
just-
a devil, if you
Oh,
will.
damn. Sorry. I dropped it. The ball was
right.
dropped.
All right.
Yep.
Pick
You
it up.
didn't let me finish it.
Hold on. This is a solid beer. You know what else is solid?
Daredevil.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's episode 59, by the way.
We've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The big news is that the show has been already picked up for a second season.
Correct.
And why, you may ask? If you haven't checked out Daredevil on Netflix, you should.
Yes.
And also stop listening. And
Yeah,
go
and
check
skip
it out,
ahead.
because we're gonna spoil a
Skip
lot. of
ahead.
it.
Yes, please.
I'd say about 15 minutes
Yes.
or so.
So
Make it 20.
Stop
Make it
right
20.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Spoilers ahead.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
We have all watched all 13 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
I like the movie better.
I still think we need to watch the movie. I want to watch
really
the movie.
don't.
I really want to watch it.
We don't have to. I'm warming up to the idea now that we've finished Daredevil.
I finally got
show.
that bad taste out of my mouth, and I just want to.
After like 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have. It's
working
taken
on
a
it.
whole.
A lot of people I talk to, they're like, "Yeah, I don't think I ever want to like. I don't want to watch it because of the movie.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing they think of."
Yeah.
Well, that's just stupid.
That is dumb, but I get you. Yeah, the show. Excuse us. We have Gavin in the back strangling the dog. Anyway, Daredevil, the show. Dare I say?
Hi, Peter.
Dare I say?
Oh.
It's
Go for it.
currently my favorite
Ooh.
superhero show of all time.
Well, how many are there?
Well, let's see. There's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
There's Arrow. There's Flash.
Okay, we're going to DC. I forgot about them.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You got to count
sure.
everybody.
Oh, sure.
Well, think of over all time. And I haven't really come up with a full list of superhero
Smallville.
shows. Smallville was huge.
Still Lois and Clark, number 1.
Lois and Clark, of course. Yeah.
Would you count Heroes?
Sure. Yeah. That's a superhero show. Which was very good for one season.
Yep. Season and a half.
Yeah.
Gotham?
Gotham. A lot of people like Gotham. So, yeah, I mean, there's a pretty big abundance. I mean, even like the original Batman, with Adam West, you know?
I mean, there's a lot, but like quality-wise.
Yeah, now they're allowed to have a bigger budget and be taken much more seriously, and I feel like that's obviously helped.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah, and the fact that Netflix isn't on a network that says
Yes.
you can't show this, you can
Yeah.
show this.
Yep.
No, you can't show this.
Right.
But, I mean, we may be jumping ahead a little bit in this breakdown, but I feel like there was still very clear lines that they wouldn't cross in the show. Like, nobody ever goes, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there is
I noticed that.
Right.
It kind of stood out to me. I don't know why.
it's a bit
just,
of like a Law and Order thing where
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
only say shit, you
Yeah.
know?
They said freaking a lot,
Yeah.
and I was like, just say it.
You can
Just
do
say
it. You can do it. No, but I mean, I actually appreciate that because they have, you can tell there's very clear guidelines with what they're willing to do within that universe and
Yeah,
what they're
but
not.
compound fractures, no problem.
That's fine. Break everything. Just break everything.
Destroy a man's head in a car
Yeah.
door. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Let his brains leak out. That's okay.
Yeah.
But fuck.
No.
No boobs either. You get no boobs.
I mean, come on. I wanted to see.
You stop it.
I mean, I wanted to see Karen Page's tits, man. I'm sorry. I just she got like when you first see her.
This man's honest.
When you first see her, she's not really that attractive, and maybe it's because she's so like.
Maybe you didn't
oh
see
my
her
God.
in True Blood.
I find
I
that,
never watched her. I never watched True Blood.
If you watch True Blood, you go into this show with completely different expectations of her
Yeah.
because
Did she show her tits in True Blood?
No.
I don't think so. No, but
So then my expectations are still the same.
well, I
She's a
mean,
vampire.
I want to see tits, and I think it's tits.
she is just very, very attractive.
Well, when you first see her in this show, she's gone through some trauma.
Yeah.
And she's all freaked out and stuff.
And she's not supposed to be attractive at that point.
I know.
So that's actually a good
That's the
thing.
point I'm making, so let me make it.
No, okay, go ahead.
So she's not attractive when you first encounter her.
Yes.
And as it progresses, as she gets more comfortable within the show and within each character, she gets a lot more attractive.
Correct.
And I wanted to see more of her. There was a shower scene. Didn't get to see anything in that shower scene.
Marco, did you like her acting?
Nah, fuck her acting.
Can you enjoy a woman
Okay,
other than
how do
just
you-
her boobs?
How do you, no,
Chauvinist.
no.
You're
How
a
do you
pig.
want to? How do you want to dissect it? Character, story. Each
Oh,
episode.
okay.
We can't go each episode.
We
It's
can't
too
do every
much.
episode. No. Let's talk about, I guess, first off, what didn't we like? I think that'll be a much shorter and easier list to go through.
I'll tell you the one thing that stood out to me. Some of the fight scenes, particularly the fight scene with Wilson Fisk, that I think a lot of it had to do with the physical.
The finale.
Yeah, the physical limitations of Vincent D'Onofrio and what he could do
Right,
with
right.
such a big body. That really stuck out to me because I was expecting like an awesome fight, and
Yeah.
they kind of dropped the ball some places with that.
Yeah.
When you compare it to the choreo of every other fight, and especially episode 2's
Yeah.
one take.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There,
So good.
it was a little deflating. That last fight scene, I'll give you that. They're in that alleyway. That shit should have been. I mean,
He's finally in the suit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in the suit,
He's in the
and
suit,
I mean, he's
which,
finally
by
fighting the,
way,
big
I
boss.
like the black mask and black outfit.
Me
a
too.
lot
Black
better.
mask.
Me
is
too.
dope.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I think Gavin felt the same too. Actually, he's like, I don't know if I really like the suit that much.
Because the suit now starts to walk into, I don't know, it kind of looked like CW territory.
Yeah,
you know
a
what I'm
little
saying?
bit. Yeah, it's
a little
kinda
corny,
cheesy.
a bit of
little
cheese,
corny.
a little bit of cheese in
They
there.
kind of took it away. Like, I mean, obviously the show can't be him in the black mask the whole time.
It could be. There was no reason why it shouldn't have been.
But I mean, but
You take the black mask, you put some padding on his outfit, and you just keep the shit the same.
yeah, but it's the core of the show is the superhero. It had to be. He had to get into that costume at some point.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think
I think just the way that
Maybe
we were
later on down the line when he gets into the Defenders.
12 episodes of him wearing just like cargo pants and a fucking Under Armour and the mask. He looked dope for 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he's got the suit on, and it's like it's kind of a shock to see it. The first time you see it when he's like on the building and you're like, "Oh, he's in the suit. Oh, that suit's not that cool."
yeah.
So, I think it's going to take some getting used to. If he had been in the suit maybe episode 7 or 8,
Right.
and we had like 5 or 6 episodes to see him in the suit and kind of maneuver in it and make it look cool.
Yeah, you have more
then I
time to
think that would-
adjust.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a little jarring and a little weird. It's,
Yeah.
it's hard to make a suit without a cape look cool, in my
I,
opinion.
I have notes. I started to take notes. I started to take some notes.
Nerd.
Episode 11, 12.
Oh,
I
that's
wish I would have started at episode 1
Oh,
because
you
I
know
only
what?
have a couple of things.
I meant to tell you this, but going back and rewatching everything and doing that, like whenever I heard a name, I would Google it to see if they even existed in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe.
That's cool.
And every single person that they named or name dropped exists in the actual Daredevil comics.
That's
there
cool.
wasn't one original character, and there's even like little Easter eggs, like in their office, they put that the cardboard sign over the old office's sign.
Uh-huh.
If you look at it, it's a name, and I forgot what it was, but you can reverse it, and it says a name, and it's a real estate agent. You Google that name, and he's actually a villain who used to be a real estate agent in Daredevil, who becomes one of his his nemesis.
That's great. That's crazy.
It's really cool the way that they did it.
Yeah,
And
they snuck some stuff in there, like when Ben is cleaning out his office, and he was one of the first people to report on what happened in the Avengers, the event of the Avengers.
what do they call it? The instead of raining hell from the sky, the realtor called it
I
don't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah,
Those are not in my notes.
all right, clearly.
they
yeah,
were very
yeah.
clever with
You know what I'm talking
referencing
about.
everything from the Avengers.
Right,
And you
yeah.
see like newspaper clippings
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
was very cool.
Okay, so let's get back to what we didn't like. The fight scene in the finale.
Yes.
What about you?
I mean, I generally liked a lot of the character interaction, but I feel like sometimes the comedy was a little forced.
Yeah, Foggy.
Foggy was
Foggy
a
was
little weak sometimes.
Kind of a cornball.
Yeah.
He's kind of corny.
I mean, he's there for a reason. Like, you know, people will find that cute and, you know, enjoy that rapport, which I did overall like that rapport that he had with all the other characters.
Yeah.
And added a lot of levity to an otherwise super dark, super brooding show, which
Yeah.
it needed. But I don't know. Sometimes I was just like, nah, I didn't really need that. That didn't work for me. But
I don't know, man. I'm still not crazy about Charlie Cox.
As Daredevil?
as
Yeah.
Daredevil.
I think he's a good fit.
I mean, he's cool, but I don't know. I just feel like he played it a little too straight. There are moments where a little bit more emoting called for in the scene, where I felt he just played it really, really straight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't see a lot of, like, what would make this guy such a hotshot lawyer? I didn't see the charisma. I didn't see what would convince me to, like that speech he had in the courtroom scene.
Yeah.
It was good, but I felt it could have been better in the hands of somebody with more charisma, somebody with more emotion, somebody who could have like really.
I think it's just that he's so matter of fact that he doesn't need to be charismatic about anything. He can tell when people are lying. He doesn't need to
that's
try
true.
to
That's
be
true.
convincing.
Right. And people always, kind of overlook him and underestimate him because he's blind.
Right.
So I think he plays that card as that character.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you though, Marco. Like I feel like he is a little one-tone-ish, a little safe.
Yeah.
But I did like him. I ended up I find him a very good sort of avatar for us as the audience.
Yeah.
To see this world through, because he's very relatable as a character, and I feel like they did a good job of humanizing him. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
There were a couple of things that kind of stood out to me towards the end of the show. Those were the notes that I took.
Okay.
One big thing was why didn't they just start a blog from the beginning? Because they keep talking about
Yes.
how they need to get this information out into the streets, and then at one point they even say it doesn't matter where it comes from, it just needs to get out there. It doesn't matter if there's facts behind it. We just need to get people talking. So
Right.
it's like, just start the blog that you're talking about, because they eventually do, or he tries to before he gets
Murdered.
brutalized.
Oops.
But
Yeah.
why didn't they just do that from Jump Street? They don't really explain why he
Yeah.
couldn't just start the blog.
And I noticed that all of that happens within like one episode too, and I feel like that quick of a switch was kind of awkward and jarring.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The entire other time he's dead set on getting it through the newspaper.
Yeah.
And he tells Karen, like,
Nobody reads blogs.
nobody
It's just-
reads blogs.
There's no credibility. in
Exactly.
blogs.
It's everybody's opinion out there on the internet. And then after he gets fired, he's like, well, let's blog.
Well, we might as well blog, cause yeah, and it's like, okay, in real life, if a respected journalist like Ben started a blog, people would read that shit
Right.
and respect his opinion. Not, everything is fact, but pretty much, I mean, he's a respected journalist.
Right.
He's not Perez Hilton, you
Right,
know?
Right.
So I think if he started a blog, he'd be all right.
Be a different show if it was.
Imagine if Karen Page went to Perez.
Right.
Hilton.
So that bothered me. I feel like they could have just done that from Jump Street and could have answered a lot of questions there.
One thing I didn't like, but was a good thing, was actually how Wilson Fisk's character was. Like, he's a big, strong man, but he acted like a kid a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it bothered me a lot that somehow he was in power just from, crushing people's skulls with his hands.
Right.
And at any given moment, anybody, what's that guy's name? Wisely?
Wesley?
Owsley.
Owsley. Oh,
The accountant.
yeah.
The accountant could have pulled a gun and shot him in the face.
Leland.
He didn't.
Leland
yeah.
Owsley, yeah.
Yeah, shot him in the face, and he didn't. Anybody that Fisk killed, nobody pulled a gun or anything on him.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's
yeah.
a comic book TV show. So
Yeah, and there was a little less logic there as to like, how did he really rise to power? Was it really just beating the shit out of people until he got what he wanted? Like, that's how he rose to power?
Right.
They should have explored that a little bit more, because
Yeah.
they do explore his intelligence, but it's subtle in a way that's almost like, I mean, is he really that smart, or is he just going around beating the shit out of
Yeah.
people until he gets what he wants?
I like how we went through his first relationship together.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to handle Vanessa.
Nope.
You heard Vanessa?
And all of his friends are like, come on, man.
Just a chick, bro.
Yo, dude,
Chill out, man.
she's cock blocking, bro. One thing that this is not a plot hole. It just bothered me.
Okay.
Every time he goes to save somebody, he throws his walking stick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then it's just like gone.
Yes.
And it's like, does he go back for it after he's done, or like?
That was my theory.
Or does he just have a couple that he just got stashed in a closet?
I would love that. That's one of those things, like the scenes that they don't show, like in Fast and Furious when they're like at the edge of the building.
Right.
They just show him like, where did I put that fucking stick?
He's gonna go back for it.
Is it trash day? Damn it!
The other thing was the one thing that stood out to me was just the fact that like almost everybody in this series could fight, like Madame Gao and Vincent D'Onofrio. Obviously, I mean, he's built to fight, but then Nobu and fucking obviously
He was a
Daredevil.
ninja.
I
Or
know,
semi.
but it just like, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere. Everyone
scene was
seemed to be
bad.
able. That was
When they hooked him in the ribs and he drags him.
man. He's
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit.
Sympathy
Yeah, that
pains.
was messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just
But
things.
no F bombs.
No F-bombs.
No
though.
F-bombs. I would have been dropping a lot of F-bombs if somebody hooked me in the ribs and started dragging me around.
Oh, shoot. Ow!
Freak.
So, what else? Is there anything else that we can pull away that we didn't like about it?
What's it recording?
I don't know. All right, what did we like? And this could be a
lot.
long list, so
Only
let's kind of narrow
everything.
it down.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with
Rosario
Vincent
Dawson.
D'Onofrio.
What?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Rosario D'Onofrio.
Charlie Cox. Rosario D'Onofrio.
Yeah, I was totally on the same page with you.
Yep.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to start Rosario Dawson?
I love her.
Who doesn't? She's amazing.
I was.
Shut up! I don't even like where you're going with that.
No. I was actually gonna say I wish she was in more of it.
Okay.
Yeah. In reverse.
Yeah, I didn't like how she was just absent for a few episodes. Maybe she was working on something more important.
Maybe.
Yeah. You get a big name star like that to guest star, and then
She's in like 4 episodes.
Yeah.
they
4 or
should
5
have.
episodes.
I think her character too, going back to what David was saying before, is actually a pretty substantial character in the Daredevil universe
I
too.
never actually Googled her name.
So I think
That's the only
she
thing I
may. Yeah, she
My
may
mom
be
said
back.
that she used to read some Daredevil, and that she remembered her one of Daredevil's girlfriends being black. So so she could be one of
Karen
them.
Page is actually a love interest of both Foggy and Matt.
Right.
Ooh.
This is what I read. I started reading Born Again, so.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to reread that one and also read Man Without Fear, which I feel I've heard has been used
That's
as
another
an
Frank Miller
inspiration.
one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah, nothing about Kingpin is Vincent D'Onofrio. Nothing. Which is awesome. Not even his voice, the way that he speaks, mannerisms.
Yeah.
yeah, he made this character his own.
Yeah.
It's all what he felt he should bring to the character. And it's a tour de force
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
I mean, if I can be so bold, I would say that he is the best thing about that show,
I would agree with you.
or has been.
I agree.
So if he's not back for season 2 and they have like a new villain, it's going to be kind of hard to top his character, at least.
Yes.
Like we were saying before, I felt the same way about that, climactic battle. Like I was like, oh, all right, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe they can improve on that.
Right.
but-
I mean, it should have been better because Vincent D'Onofrio has been so good the whole first 12 episodes.
so much lead up.
And then that
Yeah.
was just kind of a letdown for how good. I mean, they both have been. Like Charlie Cox, even though I'm not convinced with him as Matt Murdock, him as Daredevil is awesome.
Yeah.
So that was, he was really good as the superhero aspect. But Vincent D'Onofrio, man. I mean, if you can nominate Kevin Spacey for House of Cards, and if these Netflix shows are getting nominated for awards, then Vincent D'Onofrio
Needs to.
Right.
he needs to get a look at
That's
least.
good. Yeah.
Get a couple nods.
Yeah.
I like the parkour aspects. There was one part where I don't know if it's probably not the actual actor, but a stuntman does a Kong jump into like a dive, into a twist, into a roll.
Yeah.
And like it was all in one fluid motion. I was like, holy shit. It was awesome. Do that. Yeah, and like all the fight scenes, all the flipping and all the the martial arts and tricking that they
Right.
did was it was really cool to see that.
That hallway scene
Yes.
when he's
Oh my
like
God.
when he's like doing the moves off the walls, the Superman punches off the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, let's just kind of talk about the hallway scene for a second.
Okay.
It has been getting a lot of attention for good reason. It's a 5-minute fight scene. It's one take. It's in this hallway,
Inspired by The Raid and Old Boy in particular.
and he takes out about 9 or 10 thugs
Yeah.
Yeah.
in pursuit of this little kid that he's trying to save, and it is what it's hyped up to be.
Yeah.
If
I stopped breathing.
yeah, it's
It's one of
just like,
those.
oh my god.
No, I didn't stop breathing, but I was like, "This is really cool. This is really cool." And but in the Polygon article that I read, it was pretty cool because they even go to note like the little things that highlight without even saying the type of skills that Daredevil has, where he can't see in the hallway, but he can time throwing a piece of furniture
Right.
to hit a guy that he can't see because he can hear him coming.
Right.
But yeah, just the stamina of that. If they had to take that more than once, then no doubt that at the end of that scene he was truly exhausted.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of added more to it for me. That he was really really tired, and you could see that he gave everything in that scene, and that added a little more to it. For me.
I mean, just the kind of stuff that he did, the kind of choreography that they pulled off in that one scene, just like the flip in the end where he does the kind of somersault, kicks the guy, then he gets back up, and like you're saying, he looks legitimately exhausted, just like breathing heavy. He's throwing haymakers because he's out of energy. I mean, it just, but it still looks so tight and so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very good. And even more impressive to that, because I mean, obviously nowadays they can do a lot with CG and, you know, making it look like the frames are together when they're really not.
Right.
This was confirmed that it was a true one shot.
Yeah.
So that just, I mean, all praises.
Oh,
All praises.
One shots are always awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome trick when they pull it off right.
Yeah.
So
the guy who plays Foggy, I forgot his name.
yeah.
What'd you think of Foggy? I mean, we've already noted that he's a little corny, but
Yeah. I
I
mean,
can
he's
see the importance of him in the series
for sure.
Even though he's not my favorite character, they kind of need him to keep
It's
the
necessary.
whole chemistry together.
yeah.
True. Yeah, and I mean, I think the actor does a fine job with what he has there. I don't hate him. I think he's fine, and I think he plays the role correctly.
Yeah, and it wasn't like his character was completely useless. He was able to use his ex-girlfriend to get the law firm that defends Fisk to give him files.
And that's the best thing, because he could have easily been just a big doofus.
Yeah,
you
every
know?
character in that series has a purpose. There's
Right.
no useless character.
No comic relief.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Ben Urich, the guy, I don't know, I forgot the actor's name who plays Ben Urich. I like the choice to make him black, just cause,
Yeah.
just to kind of diversify the character palette. It's a lot of white people.
There is. Yeah.
From what I've read, Ben plays a very pivotal role in the comic books. So as far as figuring out who Daredevil is and being a trusted aid in his fight to save Hell's Kitchen, the choice to kill him off in the first season was a bold choice, because if you're following Daredevil, you're going, what the fuck?
Right.
They took him out that fast?
That quick.
What are they gonna?
I am not here to threaten you. I am here to kill you.
Yeah, I love his mannerisms, man. It's just like nervous, like
My mother.
Like he's like, it's like he's got this built-in rage that it's just bubbling at
That's
the
a
surface,
secret,
and
Marco.
every time
He's always angry.
Yes.
oh god, in
Yeah.
unison.
Speaking of which, Vincent D'Onofrio could have been Hulk. You think he could have been Hulk?
No,
Yeah, I mean, he.
how?
If Mark Ruffalo didn't exist,
How? He's too big.
I don't want to live in that world.
Vincent D'Onofrio in real life is a
yeah,
big
he wouldn't
guy.
have a look-alike.
He's huge. He's like 6'5".
Hulk.
Oh, you mean he'd actually play the Hulk?
play-
No, not the Hulk.
So Mark Ruffalo,
He's
I mean,
Lou Ferrigno.
Yes.
No.
Vincent D'Onofrio's huge.
Because Bruce Banner has to be a normal sized or like a scrawny looking dude to counteract the Hulk change. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
it's the balance. He can't be like
He was
Cock
a
Diesel
small
and then become
Maybe
the
he
Hulk.
could be the Thing.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
Maybe.
Thing smash.
Back.
Oh, what?
That's a side note, though.
Okay.
what else? Anything else that kind of stood out to you in
Well,
the
I mean, we
show?
already talked about the links to the Marvel Cinematic Universe being really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of cool throwbacks, but not being overpowering, and that's sort of what I was afraid of when we were, still watching Better Call Saul, with them having too many callbacks and it just being like a wink nod show. Like, you remember that thing? It was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That didn't become that, and this didn't become that either.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that these things can exist on their own while paying reference to the material. And I mean, mind you, we're not familiar with the Daredevil lore, but from what it sounds like, they did it right.
Right, because we don't know the lore that well, but it was
Right.
still easy to get into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't need that backstory
Yeah.
to connect with
You
it.
didn't even need to watch Avengers to get into it.
Oh, another thing I guess that kind of bothered me was like both characters, their love for Hell's Kitchen just kind of was just a little too much. They're like obsessed with this shithole of a
This is my
city.
town,
Like
just one bad city.
it's just like Kingpin. It just feels like to me a not a warlord, but a drug lord, I guess. A guy who's trying to have his hands in all these businesses and trying to be what he is trying to be. I don't know, he just wouldn't really focus that much energy on this little area of New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he try to take over New York? Why fucking Hell's Kitchen?
Where's he getting all that money from?
That's another good question that we need answered.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of his power, other than him being really intimidating, was because he had money. He paid everybody off.
Right, everybody got paid.
That's what made him a kingpin.
Everybody.
How's he getting the money though?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
That's a good
What
question.
I mean, they show him making deals with other people that are selling drugs, and
What does
crime,
he
but-
actually bring to the table?
Right.
Like, Leland was the money. He was the finances. So I guess that's where he's getting the money. But why? Why is Leland paying Walter? Why? What
Maybe
does
it
he
has something
bring?
to do with
Fisk
Rigoletto.
was paying Leland. He was his accountant. Like, he was paying Leland.
All right, I guess he was just keeping track of
Yeah,
the money.
the money.
Right.
But
right.
in the first episode, they say
Cleaning it.
Rigoletto retired, my new employer. That's what Wesley said. So maybe Kingpin had something to do with that and
Yeah,
acquired
maybe.
his assets.
it might
or
be in
something.
there,
I don't
hidden
know.
somewhere.
If you kill a mob boss, do you acquire his assets? Does the bank hand that over to the guy that killed?
I guess so. Hey, I'm the guy now.
It
You're
also
the guy.
seemed-
I'm the guy.
It also seemed like the people that worked with Fisk knew his plan. Like, they know what he's going for. Like, I think there is a tangible goal that he's going for.
But I'm just trying to figure out. Obviously, Madame Gal made reference to it that the heroin thing was just kind of like well, we'll do this while we're here,
Drop in
but
the
we've
bucket.
got bigger, right?
Yeah.
But I just it still doesn't make sense why all of these organizations, Nobu and all the ninjas and stuff, and then Leland, why they all
And the
focused,
Russians.
and the Russians too,
Right.
Why they all focused on just Hell's Kitchen? Hell's Kitchen's not that big.
No.
Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I see what
You know
you're
what I'm saying? Like,
all right,
it's
that's,
not- you're
that's
not gonna
your,
get that-
That's your dream, bro. Nobu and I.
We-
I'm
Right,
Madame Gal.
exactly, like,
we're gonna go do other things.
We like
Well,
you
we
want
got more
to
money.
save this shithole, fine, but we got other things to do. Like, we got New York to take over, not some small city in
Yeah.
New York.
Well, I think they tried to explain that by having the building plans in Hell's Kitchen and being like, this is where we're focused on, revamping in particular.
But like Nobu, for instance, he was like, I want that part of the city. And it's like, okay, dude, but why do you want
Why?
that fucking complex? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Obviously, he wanted it for a reason that kind of went unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like, okay, you just want this.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's your
He's like,
aspirations.
but I'm giving you all these other things.
Right, it's like you can have all. He's like, no, I want
No.
this. I'm like,
This little
okay.
What'd you guys think of
yes.
Stick?
I liked how gruff he was. It was a little refreshing to me as far as him not being like sensei.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he went past the tough sensei and went into, you're kind of a dick,
I
like,
think he was a bit of too much of a dick. It seemed like there were some things that were like unnecessarily dickish.
They don't ever explain what the black something was. The kid that they killed.
oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh right,
Right.
yeah. I know. The Black Sky.
Black Sky.
Black
yeah,
Sky,
They don't
right.
explain what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. And, I mean, they mention...
They got to bring that up in season 2.
Yeah,
No,
there has to
undoubtedly.
be some kind of... Because I feel like there is some mystical elements that are coming out
Yes,
that
definitely.
we don't know about.
Yes.
Maybe that area in Hell's Kitchen is some kind of hotspot for something that we
Right.
don't know about,
Madame Gal referenced it.
Madame Gao referenced, you won't see me. I'm going somewhere much further than China.
Going to her
Right.
homeland.
Yeah.
She said her homeland.
Right,
And we
exactly.
thought she was Chinese.
And no, and
Right.
he goes, so you're going to China?
No, somewhere much further.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's-
That was a little racist, but you get the idea.
Damn it, racist. Okay. Yeah.
So-
No, yeah. So there might be some mythical elements, like you're saying, that are going to explain some of these
Right.
questions that I have. So
It would have
that's-
been nice to have some closure on these things, but it's not really bothering me.
Yeah, no, I don't think it.
it's
It was just
season one.
questions that took up. Yeah, they were just questions that cropped up
Mm-hmm.
after I was done with it. Like, why did they do this? And why did they do that?
Right.
But
it's
Well,
like-
I guess you'll find out in season 2, Marco.
which is coming next year, but it's gonna have a new showrunner. Two new showrunners.
What does that mean?
That means the guy who basically made all the decisions for the TV show doesn't want to. Well, not that he does. He said prior engagements have prevented him from continuing on the show. The showrunner is like the guy who you take all of the questions and everything. He runs the show.
like Vince Gilligan to Breaking Bad.
Right.
He's credited as executive producer.
He's so he's not he's not the creator or the writer or anything, but he is the guy. So Robert Kirkman, not Robert Kirkman, he created Walking Dead. The who's the guy? The special effects guy now.
I
who's the
understand,
showrunner.
Marco.
I know. I'm just trying to remember the name.
Greg Nicotero.
Greg Nicotero, thank you.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, the original guy who was the showrunner in season 1 of Daredevil, he's leaving, but the guys who are running it now are 2 writers who were part of his decision making process in season 1.
Okay.
One's a writer for Sons of Anarchy, and another is a writer for.
That's right. I read this.
I'm not familiar, so. You had me at Sons of Anarchy, though.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Then.
Duck Dynasty.
So, I mean, they've got the credentials, these 2 guys. I'm just worried that
It's going to be Frank Darabont,
right,
Walking Dead.
Exactly. That they leave, and then the guy leaves, and then the whole emotion and the vibe of the show changes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that because that's what showrunners bring
It's got
to
too
shows.
much. It's got too much on Daredevil's plate
that's
for them
that's
to
how
drop it.
that's how Walking Dead started too. Started pretty incredible, and then that season 2 dip, man, was too much for some people.
But it's Marvel.
It was great for other
But
people.
it's Marvel.
You're right. It's Marvel. Joss Whedon is also leaving, but I guess that's another conversation.
That was a plan. I feel like a very planned thing, though. It's not like he's upset.
Yeah, no, he seems like he's very at peace with his decision to not.
Yeah.
It's not
But
dying.
I mean, I think
He's good to go.
It's a big thing though to say like
He's made
I'm
his
not going to
arrangements.
direct these movies anymore. Like this is a huge moneymaker for him. He could stay on and direct 30 of these if he stayed
Wasn't
alive.
there an article that said that he made more money directing Dr. Horrible than he did directing the Avengers?
Oh,
Really?
God.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this article.
Yeah,
I'll
that
show
sounds
you later.
interesting if that's true.
Yeah, because
Wow.
if that's true, then yeah, I could see why he's leaving. Like,
Yeah.
He's
who
still-
needs the stress when you can direct Doctor Horrible,
Yeah.
have fun with NPH, and
Fillion.
not have to worry
I
about
know, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
He still hasn't made a sequel to that. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
It's good.
So anyway,
Anyway,
rating Daredevil.
out of 6 bottle caps,
Season 1.
I'm gonna go 5, maybe 5.5.
Adam.
I'm going solid 5.
I feel like if I say 5.5, I'm walking into Breaking Bad territory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Breaking Bad to me is a 6.
That's true.
And
I said I'm walking into.
you are.
Breaking
No,
Bad
and you're
territory.
totally right. You're totally right. I agree with you. But
It's season 1. I'll be reserved. I'll say 5.
okay.
We'll go straight 5s.
Has us excited for the future.
That it does.
Yeah. Did not see the success of this one coming.
No.
No.
I
I
was-
didn't.
I
Really
was
did not expect it to be as good
Optimistic,
as it
but it was much better than I was expecting still. So,
was. All right. Moving on.
yes. Talking about superheroes.
Talk about.
There was a recent article in Polygon. I'm bringing this up so I can find people's names. It was an article by Ben Kuchera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my man Ben.
Yeah, Mr. Cuchero.
Yes. Shout out to Ben Kuchera.
Duh.
He wrote an article titled Gaming and the Exaggerated Unrealistic Human Body. So,
Just
obviously,
grabs your attention
It does.
right off the bat.
That it
boom,
does.
boom, got you.
Makes you want to talk about it.
Sinks the teeth in.
I'm listening.
So, I talk about that because obviously in comics it's been well known that, and we've talked about this in the past, the female form is often exaggerated, and obviously the male
To
form.
great extent. A lot of intelligent women.
As you make boob hands. This might be a train wreck of a conversation.
What are you saying? Exaggerated and intelligent.
I mean, I got big titties.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, the point of this article was to make Marco feel bad for saying the things he does. But it's basically bringing up a point in which, you know, I feel like people talk about all the time in comic books and in movies and in even like magazines and stuff. It's the body image that is shown to people in the media. So we often like to stare at pretty people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, that's what's attractive, obviously. That's what sells, and that's what people enjoy to see. But they're bringing this down into video games in which they're saying characters like everybody in Gears of War, and I mean Tomb Raider before the reboot was pretty much unrealistic for normal human beings to look like.
Right.
And having these things, especially in video games, I think in particular, that you live with for so much longer than a movie or even some TV shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I think it may have more of an impact on you than any other sort of medium,
Yeah.
especially if they're your avatar that you're playing as.
Yeah.
So this article has a YouTube video sunk into it that I think is pretty good and brings up some good points. So we'll link to that in the description. But do you guys think that there is a problem with the way that men are depicted, the way that women are depicted in video games in particular? Do you think that has any, side effects? Have you ever felt bad for how you look because of seeing some, super huge jacked dude in a video game?
I'll say, I haven't felt bad, but I do feel like I look at those things like I could aspire to be those, depending on the
You can
avatar.
be Marcus Phoenix?
No, but
Razorhead.
like certain things like NBA 2K, for instance, not being able to play at an NBA level, but just looking like the way that they depict those characters.
I mean, that's exactly how NBA players look like, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong.
That's not an exaggerated image, then.
I
So
guess.
you're saying more of the skill level that they're at.
Maybe.
You can aspire to.
I don't think that. They're video games. I think the closer we get to making realistic video games, or making them as close to real life as possible, the more dangerous we get into conversations like this, where we have to start being careful with how the characters, the avatars in a video game actually look. It's a video game.
Right.
Like, people are losing sight of that because of how close they're getting to real life. They're losing sight of the fact that it's a video game. And I know that some people say, well, no, it's more than that. It's, I'm living vicariously through the character, and it's like, I don't want to be an asshole about it, but like, don't. Honestly, like, people shouldn't. And I know that there's a real problem with people who do live vicariously through their video game avatars in games like Second Life and stuff like that. I get that. That's a real problem. But
there are guys playing as women on like Second Life and stuff.
True.
this is true.
Well, I mean,
Maybe those men want to be women.
They could.
How's that that is clearly an exaggerated. Are you saying like if you're a guy you can only play as a guy, and if you're a girl you can only play as a girl?
Am I saying that? No.
Well, I mean, like, then okay, hold on.
Actually,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
Like,
and we've had this conversation with Marco before, where he said that he's uncomfortable playing as a girl a lot of the time.
Right, but I'm saying like in that mind state, in the same line as this article, if an exaggerated body image is only something that you're supposed to be able to relate to as a guy, playing as a guy, then isn't that null and void if you're a guy playing as a girl? That is a completely exaggerated body image.
No, I think it's the same thing. I mean, a guy, if that's the kind of body image that they aspire a woman to look like, regardless of how they live vicariously through it, or if they just want that as a representation of the perfect woman, it's still an exaggerated body type. Regardless of how they're viewing or how they're using it in the game, they're still seeing it as the perfect woman.
You've seen Amber Rose.
I'm not saying that those people don't exist. I mean, that's where they get these avatars
though.
from, right?
It's unrealistic for a lot of people to look like Amber Rose.
I mean, but at the same
She
time,
ain't even all that.
yeah, she's really not.
Yeah,
She got him curved though. I don't know. I think that they may make some people feel bad about themselves because they're playing 24/7 on a video game and they're saying, why can't I look like that? And part of the reason is because you're playing 24/7 on a video game wanting to look like that character.
Right.
I'm not fat shaming. I'm saying like that's part of the problem is our sedentary lifestyle and then looking to things like that, to trying to aspire to be those things, but also not putting the work in.
Yeah,
also.
And it's of course it's a vicious cycle of that too, because these people have a sedentary life where they're sitting down playing video games or watching a lot of movies and whatever, not going out and exercising and eating right and stuff, and then they feel bad, so therefore they continue that process, and just keeps going.
I'm unhappy because I ate.
I eat because I'm unhappy.
There is a lot of truth to that.
There's a lot of truth to it. Mike
But in
Myers
saying
dropping
that,
gems.
wouldn't the course of action in it be becoming conscious of your decisions and the things that you watch and play and
Yeah.
knowing that it's fiction?
Yeah, well, for sure. But the problem is there is very little exception.
This is
to
going
that.
back into censorship.
I
Because
think
you shouldn't vice grip the developer, the artist, because it might feel someone feel bad.
yeah,
yeah.
But, and people, I mean, maybe these body types are unrealistic, but I mean, like let's be honest. Like, do you want to play as somebody like a realistic, 35-year-old American male?
You do in Watchdog.
But not even really though. I mean, he's
Doing
a
Grand Theft
slim,
Auto.
good-looking guy. Same with all the characters. Well, no,
He's a
take that
nerd.
back. Grand Theft Auto, they're
Yeah.
pretty. And you're right. No, that's a good point though. In Grand Theft Auto, they are realistic characters. Michael is out of shape. He's a
Except for
family
Trevor.
man. He is pretty. I mean, he's fucked too. He's not like a good-looking guy. He's a
Right.
meth head. He's fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Franklin is just some random black dude, just like I guess a wannabe gangbanger or whatever.
Slightly
Michael's
doughy,
out of shape. He's a
retired
40,
guy.
40
Yeah.
50-year-old family man.
You do yoga?
So those are realistic representations in a game, truth be told,
But
that
what
doesn't
does
have a lot of
what does that
unrealistic.
say when a game as successful as GTA has realistic characters?
That's great. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people would cite that if it wasn't for all of the things that they call sexist in that game.
Right, all of the
So-
other negatives that are part of that game
Right.
kind of drag down,
Right.
I guess, that one positive.
Yeah, and I mean, I see the point about not censoring the artist, but at the same time, you have to realize that something like 80% of video game creators and writers are male. And therefore, if they're ever creating a female, they're writing it from a male perspective, unless they're trying to do it intelligently, which isn't done very well.
Right.
The video that's put in that article cites boob physics, for example. That's not realistic. That's not how boobs actually work.
That's true.
But okay,
Maybe
all
that
right.
is why
but
they're so stupid looking.
Here's
Yes.
here's another thing though. Pornography, for instance.
Yes.
Like nobody. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody because people watch some weird shit. But normally,
Something for everybody.
if you're watching porn, you're looking for the person that piques your interest, right?
Yeah,
The
your
most
type.
beautiful, your type.
Right.
The most voluptuous, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's when that's a fantasy. That's when you're using your imagination, or I guess not using it as much as you should, but that's not the point. My point is, with a video game, like, what do people want? Do they want to play as an average American male, or do they want to have fun playing a video game with this muscular, like Gears of War, for instance? You cited that. They're all fucking like Marines and like
They're huge.
like
Yeah.
they're soldiers, like,
They
and they're-
don't even know. They surpass like
right. They
human
don't even
physical
look
build.
realistic. They're
Yeah.
gigantic. So
Yeah.
if you're
Oh, yeah.
looking at that and going, "This isn't fair," it's like it's not fair for anybody. What are you talking about?
Nobody's like this. Yeah.
So I just I understand where people are coming from, but at the same time, it's like what are you citing first of all, and what do you want to be done?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what do people want from video games? If like in a game like Second Life, for instance,
What? Yeah. hold
they
on.
can create whatever they want.
Right. What was
They choose to have huge tits, and you know what I'm saying? Like they choose that.
Yeah, sometimes.
What was the point of that article?
The point was to, I guess, shine a light on an issue that they find, which is, first of all, the video game industry, as far as audience and creators, is male dominated. There's been an increase in females as video gaming has become more, widestream or mainstream, excuse me. But at the same time, it is a majority of a male perspective, which leads to unrealistic females in particular, and also the fantasy of a male that is something sometimes unobtainable in
Yeah.
a normal man's life. You know, it makes for everybody to feel kind of bad if you're only seeing these fantasies all day.
Right,
you
and
know?
if you're using those as your example of what it means to be a man or a woman, then, like I read this article, and it was like it was from a UK, I think it was UK Men's Health or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked men, they said, what do you think is the ideal man to a woman?
Mm-hmm.
And they described
yeah,
it
I
as
saw
like,
this.
you saw this?
Yeah, I saw this.
Ripped abs, like beautiful flowing blonde hair, like Brad Pitt's chin, and like just this really unrealistic looking guy. Then they asked women the same question, and it was a drastically different person.
Yeah.
It was like kind of schlubby.
I remember the first comment on
curly
that.
hair.
The
like
first comment on
beard.
that was like, yeah, take that survey to like LA or Miami.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
There are different
so
strokes
okay,
for different
so
folks.
and right, so that means that the results of this poll were kind of skewed, and I'll
Yeah.
give you that. But it does kind of shine a light on our perception of ourselves. You said gaming is a male-dominated arena, and that's the way that a lot of men perceive women's perception of
The
perfection.
perfect man.
Right. So again, it's a vicious cycle of
Yeah.
going, that's what women want, and women going, that's not what we want,
Right.
but not really listening to women. You know what I'm saying? And just
Yeah.
viewing it like,
Yeah.
no, this is what
This
you
is
want.
actually what you want.
You know, this is what you want.
Right.
So,
Well, and then maybe that's part of the vicious cycle where we see that all the time as being the perfect movie star and the perfect action dude.
Yeah.
And therefore we interpret that as ourselves. That's what we want.
I'm just trying to envision like an actual example of what people are talking about. I'm trying to think of like Uncharted. Like Nathan Drake is a good looking
Average
guy,
guy.
but he's a slim looking dude.
Yeah.
He's
Last
not,
of Us,
he's right.
average guy.
True.
Very average looking guy.
There is a very obvious line in video games where this is fantasy, this is unrealistic, and then there's a line that this is realistic. This is Uncharted. This is Last of Us. This
Yeah.
is Grand Theft Auto. This is The
Yeah.
Watchdog
Right.
or Watch Dogs. And I don't think developers should be held liable for that kind of common sense.
Right.
When I'm playing Gears of War, I'm not like, oh, why can't I, bodybuild, get that big, and fight locusts all day?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's a conscious decision though that people are like, oh well, I wish I could be like Marcus Phoenix.
No, but it
It's-
needs to be because that's an
No,
ignorant
yeah.
way of thinking.
People need to be smarter about their fandom. They need to be able to be conscious about these things. They need to be able to take a step back and say, this is a fantasy world. This goes back to like people who get mad at the film industry and the entertainment industry as a whole and say, my kid shot up that school because of this piece of music or this movie that they watched or blah, blah, blah. It's like people need to be able to be smarter about the things that they're into.
Right. The backing away a little bit from video games, within this article they cite somebody that works at Disney, one of the animators at Disney, and I think you guys have probably seen this article around too, but it talks about the similarity in faces that the female characters in those movies have, and then the drastic differences in faces, in variety of faces that the male characters have. And they're associating that with, they actually asked a guy that is an animator there, and they said, well, how can you account for that? And he said, well, it's harder to animate the women in these stories because we have to make them emotive and, obviously caricature-like, but also keep them pretty. Whereas they have more freedom with guys because guys can look goofy and,
And still get the girl.
I'm offended.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a valid point.
What do you mean we can look goofy?
Yo?
I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
Like, we can, they can make characters like Knocked Up. Somebody was telling me, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody was telling me like they didn't like Knocked Up because it was like such a stereotypical movie where like the woman is like this hard ass who is all about her job, and then she gets stuck with some schlubby like stoner
With a heart of gold.
yeah. And it just kind of like falls in line with the rest of these kind of stories. Either the man has to be like this Prince Charming, or they can be just a kind of shitty like whatever guy and still get a person like Katherine Heigl. Like
Right.
women have to be a certain thing. They have to be a certain epitome, a certain image, and they're always aspiring to that. But men, we can kind of be whatever we want, basically.
Yeah.
And as far as how movies are portrayed. So I guess going back to the video game thing, it's really, I think, men try to make it seem like it has to do with them. Like, oh, I could never look like a character from Gears of War. But it's really about women and how they can never live up to those unrealistic body images. Like,
Right.
men want it to be this equality thing, like, well, I can't live up to that, and it's like, but nobody's asking you to. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, no one's asking
Well, I think
you to.
dudes put it on themselves.
They
more
do.
than anything
No,
else.
that's it.
So,
Yeah, it's we are telling ourselves that we need to look up to that. I don't think we really have to.
Yeah.
Women, though, probably do.
yeah.
Why?
society.
Yeah,
I guess.
basically.
And that's what boils down to this exact problem. It's that society deems a certain body type and a certain look and a certain type of woman to be attractive. Period. That's it. Everybody has their own nuanced. Oh, I like brunettes. I like girls that I don't know, have freckles or whatever it is.
Same thing with girls.
True. But I feel like more times than not, it's more of the women that are held accountable for their body size than men are. I feel like chubbier dudes have better luck, at least in people's minds, in mind share. As okay. So talking about Knocked Up, what's his name? Seth Rogen, schlubby looking dude,
Yeah.
still a movie star.
Yeah.
I feel like there are more examples of Seth Rogens than there are of
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy's. Exactly.
Right now.
Ever.
Okay.
In all time.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Right meow.
Right now.
Right meow.
Yes, right now.
Yes.
And forever.
Forever and ever. In media, period.
There's
Name-
like
name
Lena
another-
Dunham.
Yeah.
Who's Lehman Dunham?
Lena Dunham
Who's
is
that?
the writer of Girls.
Lemur Dunham.
Lemur Dunham. Lena Dunham.
Lena Dunham.
Melissa McCarthy.
Whatever.
I'm just trying to think
No,
of
no.
like people who are women who are deemed,
Rosie
not
Rosie
stereotypically the epitome of the woman, attractive woman.
And then you get into the whole, rabbit hole of, oh, well, who are they trying to be attractive for? Is a woman's place only to look attractive for a dude? No, it's not. But, that's kind of the standards that we're holding it to.
I mean, everybody's always saying the right things, but when we actually look at who the stars are, it's very drastically different than what we're actually telling ourselves and
we
telling each other.
constantly fall back into this cycle. We end up going back into that cycle of, yes, I only want to see bikini babes on my Hardee's commercials.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it.
Would you want to see Melissa McCarthy in a Hardee's commercial eating a burger?
Why not?
Really?
She probably eats it the best out of all of them.
Oh my god.
That was mean.
Oh my god.
Just saying, she's the only one that's actually gonna eat that burger.
All right.
Said
All right.
He's not wrong.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. But it boils down to preference.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just trying to think of, obviously I'm just trying to think of if I were to have a daughter, and she were to grow up with the example of only voluptuous video game, vixens. I mean, I'd feel bad for her, to have to grow up with that image of being something to aspire to that is so shallow. And
I mean, you can tell your son he can be Seth Rogen and still get. Have you seen Seth Rogen's wife? She's hot.
You're perpetuating it. You're perpetuating it.
No,
Like,
what
right now
I'm
you're doing that.
what I'm saying is
she's smart.
it's that she's very
She's very
intelligent.
smart.
She's very intelligent.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like he didn't that society that I'm sorry that image of society is being perpetuated. Like I can tell my son that you don't really have to worry about it because a guy like Seth Rogen
okay,
can still
so
get a hot
let's-
woman.
Let's break this down. If Seth Rogen was Daredevil, would you believe that?
No,
Okay.
He
what
wouldn't be
type
able
of
to
person
perform
would
that.
need to be Daredevil? Someone who's fit, someone
Yeah.
who's in shape, someone with very little body fat,
Yeah.
who's very toned muscularly.
Right.
yeah,
That's what we aspire to. Like doing cool shit like Daredevil is what we like watching. If Seth Rogen's on TV and he's flopping around doing
But-
spin kicks, I don't want to see
but
that.
why?
I would laugh.
But
I
why?
wouldn't enjoy
Why
that.
do you aspire to be like that?
Because I don't aspire to be that. I'm saying like
I'm
in
not saying
order-
you personally, but
in
like
order-
as an example, why
in
would
or-
a person aspire to be that?
in order to shoot something like that, the person doing it needs to fit the criteria. And if that
Athletically.
if that's what I expect from that person, realistically, that's what I expect that a person like that to be able to do, not Seth Rogen.
Right. But why?
You don't want to do flips and kick people in the face, Marco?
But why would I?
You just signed up for jujitsu. This is
I'm not
very-
saying me personally, bro. I'm not saying me personally.
He's
I'm
like, I
saying-
do.
Listen,
I know
listen.
you want to do flips and kick people in the face.
Because I do.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
And when you are able to do it, you'll look like Matt Murdock.
for argument's
I
sake,
win. I just won.
no, look, for argument's sake, why
Sexism's
would
over.
why Why are men
everybody-
aspiring to be that athletic?
Everybody wants to be the alpha male
Why?
because that's how instincts work.
That's how the society works.
Human nature.
That's human nature to be the
Shut up,
strongest.
scientist.
I think everybody aspires to look healthy. I think that everybody aspires to be healthy.
But why?
I mean,
People aspire to
because-
look good. That's what they want. They want to look good. And
Yeah.
why do they want to look good? Because
definition,
society is telling them that
no.
that's what a man is supposed to look like.
we're doing nurture versus nature right now.
Yeah,
That's
your,
what it is.
Your nature says be in shape, be ready for anything, and
Nature's
as a
telling you to
result-
be able to kill a bear when it comes at
yes,
you.
as a result, you are a ripped killing machine, which people find attractive because instinctually you're
Actually-
looking for the most fit mate.
Let me do the nerd talk. Actually,
Go ahead.
apparently back in the day, people didn't have ripped abs and stuff like that. Like that is a new thing that we have made. Like ripped abs, fucking tight ass shit breaking through
Got
the
ass
shirts,
on his arms.
Tight ass.
Tight ass.
tight asses on your fucking shits.
Yeah.
That is not normal. Strong dudes, if you look at like the
Historical-
strongest lifters in the world are like kind of tubby looking dudes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
beasts.
Yes, so I mean, like, of course there were skinny dudes and like dudes that were ripped, but that wasn't the ideal vision of strength.
Yeah.
And even in some like native societies and stuff, it's still not. Like fat people are looked at as being strong and powerful because they can
Because
eat.
they are.
They have weight
And they're
behind them.
they're stronger than skinny guys that you'll
Yeah.
break like a twig.
We have created this perception that that is the epitome
Right. The
of the male
bodybuilder image.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna argue if someone who is ripped isn't in good shape, then
They
what-
might
what
not
are
be
you actually
if you're full of steroids and pre-workout and shit. And
What I mean,
your balls are the size of
full of
pebbles.
pre-workout. What I'm saying is,
Balls.
not we here, people
Yes.
aspire to be those things because society is telling them to aspire to be those things. Not us personally.
nobody's telling you to do flips and kick people in the face, Marco.
Or that it's
God is.
society.
Oh, okay. So people are just gonna leave the society now, cause
Constructs.
what are you talking about? People are just supposed to just leave America now because they don't want to look like the guy on Us Weekly.
Just go to Burning Man, man.
Just get out of my America, boy.
As he unbuttons his top button, put some more bacon in his face.
No, that's not the answer. The answer is not get out if you don't want to be in shape, you fatty.
Not what I was saying.
Kind of sounded like that's what you were
It's
saying.
it's come here if you want to not be in shape.
No, it's fix your own problems. Don't look for everyone else to solve your problems.
Yeah, that's true. We're playing the blame game on that.
I don't think
On body image
I
issue?
don't
Yeah,
think
people
so.
who whine about that shit, it's a blame game. Be more conscious of what you're watching and understand that it's not real life.
I'm not saying that people. I'm not saying that people shouldn't aspire to be healthy human beings. I'm saying that there is an image that we aspire to because society has forced that on us, and that may be wrong. People can be healthy and not be ripped.
But we're a
Yeah.
part of that society. Like
I
it's-
am.
It's a cohesive thing. Like we help.
We
create
all
that.
allow
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
saying we are all
Right.
to blame for that
Yeah.
societal image that people
no more
aspire
Mad Men
to.
in the house, Gavin, because that's inspiring you to want to wear suits
Yeah.
when you watch Mad Men.
I'm going to.
But that's not an
Anyway.
unrealistic aspiration. Getting a job, wearing nice clothes,
Cheating on your wife.
cheating on your wife,
Slapping women's
drinking
ass at
drinking
work.
whiskey in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Those things aren't unrealistic.
Exactly.
You can be those things. It's hard. It's harder to be a Matt Murdock. It's harder to do parkour and no martial arts
And
flip
not die
around
when
shit
you're
like
stabbed
that.
in the
Not
gut.
die when you're
but that's
stabbed.
way cooler than
It
what
is
Gavin
cool.
wants to do.
Right? Yeah. It's true. It's true.
if Don
Potato,
Draper was
potato.
doing Daredevil shit in a suit, I'd be all about that.
Yeah.
It's called James Bond.
No, it's not.
Anyway,
I didn't see James Bond doing no parkours.
What? Have you not watched the last 3?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, he did
Not
some
like
parkour.
Daredevil.
Oh, he'd be parkouring.
Not like Daredevil.
all right, that's enough.
All right. Break it up, you two.
I'm gonna go do push-ups now to try to fit this body image
Right.
that I keep talking about. This has been the One Baron podcast for Mr. Dupa, Adam Obesius Rodriguez,
Yep.
Drunk Dave Romero,
I did my hair.
and Gavin Benner off camera.
Fucks.
Thank you guys for listening. Always, always, always have a beautiful evening and drink delicious beer.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. That's a beautiful.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
And each other.
And each other.
By someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out, so cold. When it's light out, it hurts to realize what you want. Sometimes it hurts to realize what you want. Sometimes.
Good night. Ridiculous.